Coach, your Edges had quite the game against Wisconsin, especially with RJ and BJ. I mean, how much do you think that kind of speaks to what they are capable of on any given play, any given day?
You know, the funny thing is, talking to Bill, so there was a lot of missed opportunities still. You know what I mean? We probably left like 3 more sacks out there. But these guys understand that there's a lot left in the tank, right? They played well, right? But that's not our best yet, right? And so we haven't played our best yet, and hopefully we continue to take steps. They've done so far this week with this practice, getting ready for this next opponent. And so for us, that's all it is: stacking bricks on top of each other every day, and hopefully they take another step forward this weekend.
How much have you maybe challenged Eddie and Ram and Bobby, kind of with Quinn now being down, and those three kind of having to take on a little bit of a bigger role behind RJ and BJ?
Do you know what? I don't know if I need to challenge these guys. They're pretty competitive. They understand what's at the task at hand, and when one guy goes down, they understand that their job is to make up for whatever needs to be done. And so those guys have done a great job being ready for their turn, and now that it's come, Isaac Terrell's got to play. And so preparing him, I told Bill he's probably one of the most well-prepared individuals I've ever been around, and that's because he's put a lot of work into it, and I trust him. He's tough as nails, and he's probably going to play this weekend and until Quinn gets back. So those guys are ready to roll.
No, he's not at your position, but Kyle Thornton kind of seems like he embodies everything it means to be a Coug, starting as a walk-on and getting to this point where he's starting and playing very well. I mean, what have you seen from him, and how much does that make maybe the defensive line's job easier, knowing they have a guy like him, like Devin, kind of at that linebacker position, leading the way?
Yeah, man, I think it's about trust. It's about trust. His best ability is his dependability, right? Those guys trust him. They depend on him because his knowledge of the defense is so elite. That when he speaks, those guys move. So there's a lot of respect for KT and what he does, and so he makes the job of the D-line easier because of his clarity of communication. And so I'm grateful that he's back there to be able to set these guys up for success, and he's been a great leader for us.
When you're down 2 edges like you are right now, do you sense any extra juice from guys like Ram and Isaac, or do they seem extra motivated when they have more opportunity, or kind of what are you seeing from them in that way?
These guys are pretty steady as a group. You know what I mean? I don't think there's they get too high or too low. I think they understand that winning football games is hard, right? And it starts up front, and they got a big task at hand. And I tell them the burden's always going to fall on our shoulders to change the game. So they gotta understand that. They gotta embrace it, and they haven't flinched one bit.
What kinds of things have you seen guys like RJ and BJ kind of pass on to the younger edges in terms of trying to, kind of bring them along?
I think it's the preparation portion of the deal. So these guys are elite at their preparation. Just the knowledge of the game since they were young. I think they had good mentors, and so they understand that's their role now, right? If they're going to lead these guys, they got to set the example, and they've done a great job doing that.
With BJ, he seems like a guy, at least to me from the outside, he seems like a guy that's kind of comfortable in his own skin, where he finds it easy to kind of laugh at himself. Seems like that doesn't really bother him at all. Tell me about like his personality. What's it been like hanging out, with him, and where do you think that kind of comfortability for him kind of comes from?
I think he understands who he is and what he's about. He's got a great foundation of morals that come from him and his family, and so he understands who he is, and he's a way different person off the field than he is on the field. So you probably wouldn't recognize him on the field compared to who he is off the field. He's awesome off the field, and it's a pleasure to be around him.
And then even with the injury, I'm just wondering what kind of role you've seen so far and what you kind of expect to see out of Quinn just from the sideline, like helping out his teammates.
He's already been doing it. He's already been leading the younger guys, right? He starts on some of the special teams, so he's taking some of those younger guys under his wing as far as leading them and guiding them through that stuff. So I've already seen it from him, just taking those guys aside and talking to them about what can be better, how things are done, right, and what the standard is, and helping protect that.